Hello, everyone. We are Victoria Paez, Noelia Ortiz, and Monica Ramirez, and we will discuss Jean Piaget's influence as a pioneer of modern education. We will start with Noelia.
Hello everyone, I'm going to talk about principle of teaching and learnings. I will talk about four of them. The one is development is an increase in the complexity and mobility of cognitive structure. Piaget solved things thinking the ability to reason, to connect ideas and solve problems as a result of cognitive structure that they gradually build within the brain as a result of exposure and the interaction of the environment. Number two is learning is a process of adaptation. Learners resonate new situation according to with what they already know about a similar situation. Example, the life cycle of a butterfly, they will understand if they assimilate this life cycle of a human being. Number three is learning depends upon students' hands-on interaction with objects. Students need to experience such as additional capacity to find interaction with the things in the environment. This method is using nowadays, and this method quickly captures the children's attention, which is positive in the process of the first step of learning, teaching of children's learning. Children need to touch and feel things to learn. That is the way they learn knowledge. And number four is social factors have as an important role in students' knowledge constructions. Piaget said that while the development conditions have a biological thesis, society also have an important role in providing an appropriate possibilities for students to develop their conditions. Now I'm gonna talk about four stages of cognitive development. Children have to go through process of a stage to acquire cognitive development. In the picture, we can see the same kid in different stages of his life. The first kid is with 2 years old, and this stage he realized that he is holding something. The second is 2 years old to 7 years old. In this stage, he acquires knowledge and he knows that is a cup of water. 7 to 12 years old, he resonates better and he is able to compare between concrete things. And in the last kid, he is 12 years old and now he's acquired more knowledge and his capacity is higher. Now, Victoria is gonna talk about more of Piaget.
Jean Piaget had a different perspective on the way children learn. According to him, children are active builders of knowledge, little scientists who construct their theories of the world, not just empty vessels to be filled with knowledge. Also, for Piaget, teachers were an essential guide for a child to learn, not only a transmitter of contents. His theory was highly influential on education. Piaget supported education based on cognitive processes rather than cognitive products. For example, the answer that a child gives to a question is not the most important thing, but rather the teacher must focus on how that child came to that conclusion and what he or she understood. Only in this way, a useful cognitive process can be built for that child. Jean Piaget once said, "You cannot teach concepts verbally, you must use a method founded on activity." From his perspective, children needed to have active participation in learning activities. That means a child must have the opportunity to explore, experiment, discover new things for themselves, and interact with other people in their environment. For Piaget, speeding out child learning was completely useless, since it will not lead to a truly cognitive understanding. That is, teaching a child when he or she is not ready is not the best decision. In fact, according to an article of Mind of Wonder, it could be worse than not teaching anything at all, since the child will be learning something that it will not be possible for him or her to process. And finally, Piaget proposed that teaching should not be based on general standards for all children, but rather should be prepared for each of them without distinction. According to Piaget, the main goal of education is not to increase the amount of knowledge, but to create the possibilities for a child to invent and discover, to create a men who are capable of doing new things. Now, Monica Ramirez is going to continue.
I will discuss his ideas and practices in today's teaching and learning. First of all, we need to remember his main idea is constructivism. People construct their own knowledge. So, based on this concept, his teaching influence are allowing students to learn from their mistakes, focus on the process as well as the result, is a student-centered approach, and it respects each student's individual interests, abilities, and limits. There is use of active teaching involving rediscovering truths. His learning influences are also individual learning because development is seen as individual rather than social or cultural, formative assessment which understand we try to understand a students' prior experience and how they personally construct a topic in their minds. Active learning again is present because there is independent exploration and discovery is important as well to enable students to lead their own learning. And discovery learning, in which students are invited to explore carefully planned activities and experiences that are designed to help them realize key ideas. There are two experiences that Piaget discusses. One is physical learning through direct interaction with objects, and the other one is logical mathematical learning that results from actions taken upon objects. There are multiple experiences, such as these ones, that he had observed in kindergarten and first grade classrooms. For example, activities such as building with blocks, creating with art supplies, and role playing with costumes are among the multiple ways children have opportunities for physical experiences. And to recap, we want you to remember that Piaget's constructivism is student centered and is mainly based in active discovery learning. To conclude, we want to present a meme that we made to describe Piaget's cognitive developmental stages. We have the images of Winnie the Pooh going through these stages. First, sensory motor, then pre operational, concrete operational, and lastly, formal operational stage. Thank you for listening.